Let's step directly into the scene of a high-stakes financial crime, the art of the wire transfer heist. This is a heist happening right under our noses.
Picture this. You open your bank account on a random Tuesday afternoon, only to discover $50,000 is just gone, instantly. And you know what the absolute most terrifying part is? It's not because some hacker broke through a firewall, and it's definitely not a glitch at the bank. The money is gone because you authorized it.
Anatomy of a heist, hacking the human. Let's look at exactly how this happens. You see, you didn't lose your debit card. You didn't accidentally give out your PIN to a stranger. You simply followed an instruction that looked perfectly 100% legitimate. Unlike a stolen credit card where a thief might, buy a TV online, these devastating heists start with totally ordinary, professional-looking communications. It could be an email, a quick text, or even what feels like a normal, ongoing conversation with someone you completely trust.
Here's the kicker. The scammer's goal isn't actually to steal your password. Their goal is to make you authorize the payment. Criminals know that a wire transfer moves massive amounts of money in the blink of an eye. And let's be honest, breaking into a bank's heavily guarded mainframe, that's incredibly hard. But convincing a person to hit send? Well, that changes the entire game. They bypassed all that high-tech security by focusing completely on hacking the human.
Anatomy of the con, the real estate trap. Buying a house is essentially the perfect storm for this kind of setup.
Imagine you're just days away from closing on your absolute dream home. Step 1, you get a message from your real estate agent or the title company. Step 2, they casually mention that the payment instructions have suddenly changed. And, it looks incredibly professional, the timing makes total sense. So step 3, you send the money. It's only later, in step 4, that the devastating truth hits. Those instructions were fake. Scammers literally intercepted your emails, and the person you thought you were talking to, wasn't them at all.
This terrifying mechanism actually has a name. It's called business email compromise. It's a fraud scheme where scammers compromise email accounts specifically to conduct unauthorized transfers of funds. And it works so insanely well because they are impersonating the exact people you already trust. Plus, since you, the victim, personally authorized the transaction, no red flags go off at the bank. To them, it just looks like a completely normal, approved transfer.
Anatomy of the con, the business target. Because this doesn't just happen to home buyers. Everyday businesses are caught right in the crosshairs too.
Picture a company that regularly pays its suppliers. An employee gets a totally ordinary email saying, "Our bank details have changed. Please use this new account for the next payment." It looks completely normal, right? So the employee just processes the payment like always. It's not until weeks later when the actual supplier calls asking, "Hey, where's our money?" that the company realizes the supplier's account never changed in the first place. That cash was routed directly into the scammer's pockets.
The weapon of urgency, hacking time. To make sure their targets don't double-check these fake invoices, scammers rely on a really powerful psychological weapon.
They bombard you with high-pressure commands. Send it today. This is highly confidential. This must be completed immediately. Or, my personal favorite, don't call, I'm in a meeting. They will do literally everything in their power to override your logic with instinct and fear. The whole goal is to isolate you and force you to act right that very second.
The crazy thing here is that the most dangerous scams don't actually need sophisticated technology. Not at all. They just need the right story delivered at the exact right moment. Because the less time you have to think, the less likely you are to notice something is off. Urgency is the glue holding this entire fraud together.
Why the money vanishes, the point of no return. You might be wondering, why can't a bank just step in and reverse it once you figure out you've been scammed?
Well, we're all pretty used to credit card transactions. If there's a fraudulent charge, you just call your card company, use their established dispute process, and it's easily reversed. But wire transfers, they are fundamentally different. A wire transfer is an immediate, final authorization of funds. Once it's sent, it is highly, highly difficult to recover. Why? Because the recipient usually drains that account the exact second your money lands.
All that being said, you should never just give up. If you realize a wire transfer was fraudulent, speed absolutely matters. Contact your bank immediately. Your best and really only hope is reporting it to your bank and the authorities the literal second you realize what happened. The sooner the bank knows, the better chance they have to try recovery or coordinate with other banks to freeze that destination account.
How to protect yourself. The verification defense. Thankfully, we can stop these heists dead in their tracks if we just equip ourselves with some foolproof verification habits.
By adopting some strict operational rules, you totally neutralize their entire strategy. Number 1, never trust email or text instructions alone. 2, verify everything independently. 3, always use a trusted, pre-known phone number, and I mean definitely not the phone number listed in the suspicious email. And finally, talk to the person directly, especially when you're doing something huge like buying property or sending money to a brand new recipient. A simple 5-second vocal confirmation honestly changes everything.
You also need to pay strict attention to this massive warning sign: secrecy. If someone tells you not to tell anyone or explicitly tells you not to verify the transaction, stop right there. That is exactly when you need to verify everything. Remember, legitimate financial transactions can always survive independent verification. Scams, on the other hand, depend entirely on avoiding it.
So, whenever you're faced with a massive payment, I want you to use what we call the 5 extra minutes protocol. First, stop. Second, slow down. Do not let their fake urgency become your actual emergency. Third, verify the recipient directly. And fourth, verify the instructions using a totally separate communication method. Taking just 5 extra minutes completely breaks the criminal's entire playbook.
Since these criminals are absolutely counting on you to rush, my final question for you in this investigation is this: are you prepared to pause and protect your money before you hit send? Will you take those 5 extra minutes to pick up the phone and verify the instructions before your next major transaction? A $50,000 heist starts with an ordinary message. Make sure your response to that message is anything but ordinary. Stay safe out there, verify everything, and thanks for joining us for this explainer.